clear-cut second choice at 2-1 walking forward. In the gate. And they're off. Awkward start for the favorite Toughness, who is last. On the other hand, a beautiful break for War to Remember, with General Jackson now moving up, and Toughness ranges up inside of that pair to challenge for and take the lead. They're followed by Unbreakable Trust, who's 5 off them, and Grinnell is at the back of the field. Down the backstretch, and Juan Hernandez and Toughness have opened up a 2-length advantage on General Jackson. It's another 3. War to Remember is settled comfortably in third, then Unbreakable Trust 5 off them, and another 2 to Grinnell, guided to the center of the racetrack. Into the far turn, it's Toughness with a 2.5-length lead. General Jackson is second. War to Remember getting closer to that rival, 3 in front of Unbreakable Trust and Grinnell. Toughness, War to Remember inches up on the outside of General Jackson, but those two still 3 behind Toughness at the quarter pole. Grinnell is out of last, rallying widest of all. They turn for home. Toughness with a 3-length lead. War to Remember trying to close the gap as Grinnell takes third. Inside the 8th pole, Toughness maintaining a clear-cut advantage over War to Remember. And at the 16th pole, Toughness proving far superior. Toughness just cruising through the stretch. Hernandez peaked back a while ago, and he knew it was over. War to Remember second best. Grinnell was third. Leia's Candy will be the last one to load. Going in. And they're off, and the favorite Clamp It breaks out smoothly. Duran comes to engage, and Duran sprints to the front. Then it's Leia's Candy in third, Trusty Rusty and Dark Marcus at the back of the field. Around the first turn, and Clamp It hugs the rail and does get that advantage. Leads it by 2 lengths. Duran will settle in second, 1.5 lengths clear of Leia's Candy third. At the rail, Trusty Rusty 3 off the pace in fourth, and 3 back to Dark Marcus. They swing on to the backstretch, and it's Clamp It, the heavy favorite, leading 3/4 length to Duran. Then comes Leia's Candy in the clear, while third. Trusty Rusty drafts in behind them fourth, 2.5 clear of Dark Marcus, who's out in the center of the racetrack. They head to the half-mile pole, Flavian Pratt and Clamp It, leading by just under a length to Duran. On the outside, Leia's Candy trying to hold third. Trusty Rusty pokes his head into that third spot, and Dark Marcus has trailed throughout. Less than 3/8 to travel. Clamp It, the leader. Duran trying his best. 4 back to Trusty Rusty in third. Then Leia's Candy and Dark Marcus, 1/4 mile to go. Clamp It in front. Duran fully extended, now just trying to hold second, with Trusty Rusty angling out in third. Less than 3/16 to go. Clamp It. Trusty Rusty is finishing nicely, moving into second, followed by Duran, a softened up third as they come to the 16th pole. It's Clamp It, Trusty Rusty within 2. Clamp It 1.5 lengths. Trusty Rusty, very big effort, but Clamp It was too strong. And Clamp It wins by almost 2 lengths. Trusty Rusty second, 3-way battle for third. Leia's Candy on the outside. In the gate. And they're off. Tiger Queen is quick away from the gate. So is the Shashala, who comes up to take the lead, and Champagne Cami comes through at the rail. So it will be Champagne Cami and the Shashala to duel through the early stages. Then Tiger Queen in third. Ace Baby races in fourth, 3 clear of Rose of Jericho as they come to the half-mile pole. It's Champagne Cami and Armando Ayuso leading the way 1.5 lengths, tracked by the Shashala in second. Ace Baby a joint third outside Tiger Tiger Queen, Rose of Jericho at the back, 3 furlongs out, and Champagne Cami is in charge, striding out to lead by almost 3 lengths now to the Shashala in second. Then it's Tiger Queen in third, Rose of Jericho trying to make a little headway on the inside of Ace Baby. Top of the stretch, Champagne Cami has widened. It's an 8-length lead suddenly. The Shashala, Rose of Jericho on the inside, and Tiger Queen trying to complete the exacta behind Champagne Cami, who will roll home by double digits. Champagne Cami completely overwhelms the competition over Tiger Queen and Rose of Jericho. In the gate. And they're off. Madame Secretary, Preem has some early gas, and Lolo Le Plume hustled up for early position. Miss McKenna comes away in fourth, Behave in fifth, and Wren is at the back of the field into the first turn, and it's Preem challenging Madame Secretary. Madame Secretary just in front, and now clears off to lead it by 2. Preem is in second, Lolo Le Plume, purple colors third, 4 lengths in front of Miss McKenna. Then it's Behavin' in fifth, and another 3 to the trailer, Wren. They swing on to the backstretch. Juan Hernandez and Madame Secretary in charge early. A length and a half in front of Lolo Le Plume. Then Preem at the rail back to third. Followed by Behavin', 4 off the pace, advancing fourth. Then Miss McKenna and 2 more to Wren. No change in the running order. They head to the half-mile pole behind Madame Secretary, controlling the pace, leading still by a length over Lolo Le Plume and Preem. Then it's Behavin' fourth, 4 lengths off the lead. Wren is out of last place in the orange colors. Miss McKenna tails off. 3 furlongs out. Madame Secretary has been the one to catch throughout. Lolo Le Plume is now hard-ridden, not responding. At the rail, Preem trying to re-rally. 4 lengths back to Wren, who's 7 lengths off the lead with a quarter of a mile to go. Madame Secretary sailing along. 3-length lead now on Lolo Le Plume, Preem, and Wren. Coming to the 8th pole, Madame Secretary by 4 lengths. Lolo Le Plume holding second firmly over Preem. As they come past the 16th pole, it's a runaway victory for Madame Secretary. Madame Secretary, far too strong, wins it by almost 5 lengths. Lolo Le Plume second. Good battle for third. Went to Preem just in front of Wren. In the gate. And they're off. Quick start for Velocious. Shamaville came away in good order second. Down at the rail, here's Honorable Gal moving into contention. And on the extreme outside, Ready to Gig. But it will be Velocious, a clear-cut leader. Bourbon Glaze second. Union Coach now moves up to claim third. Down at the rail, Ara is racing a joint fourth on the inside of Honorable Gal, who's fifth between rivals, 3 lengths off the lead. Then Ready to Gig, and Shamaville now trails into the far turn, where it's Velocious carving out the fractions, opens up once again on Bourbon Glaze second. Couple lengths to Union Coach in third. They're followed by Ara, racing on the inside of Honorable Gal, Ready to Gig, and Shamaville. A quarter of a mile to go, and Velocious shakes free, has a 4-length lead. Union Coach moves up on the outside of Bourbon Glaze, 3/16 of a mile to go, and it's Velocious clear by 5. Union Coach, Bourbon Glaze, a long way back to Honorable Gal and Shamaville. A 16th to go, and Velocious, home free, long gone, blasted out and waved goodbye. Velocious and Asa Espinoza win it by 6 lengths. Union Coach second, Bourbon Glaze third in front of Honorable Gal. Possibly. Westwood to the outside. And they're off. Mellencamp and Varney sharing the early lead. Flying Private is aggressively ridden for speed. Westwood on the outside. Baeza is next. Mellencamp drops off the early tempo. Rank is at the back of the field. Rounding the first turn, Flying Private was intent on getting to the front and has done so. Taking up there and pulling up, basically, is Varney. Number 3, Varney, has pulled out of the race. So it is Flying Private setting the tempo. Baeza is now right up alongside the challenge in second. Those two heads apart. 2 more back to Westwood in third. Mellencamp on the fence in fourth. Rank is in fifth. And the favorite was pulled out of it. Varney down the back stretch. And it's Flying Private opening up again to lead it by 2. Barrios comfortable aboard Baeza in second. Then Mellencamp on the rail in third. Followed by Rank, who's on the inside of rivals. Westwood just outside of him. Heading to the 3/8 pole, Flying Private a length and a half. Baeza in second. Westwood making an early bid. There goes Westwood now as Baeza takes the lead. Baeza takes the lead. Westwood moves into second. Flying Private dropping out of it. Then Mellencamp and Rank. They have a quarter of a mile to go. And it's Baeza just in front. Challenged by Westwood in second. Rank swings to the outside. Then Mellencamp top of the stretch. And Baeza goes on strongly. Mellencamp comes through on the inside to take second. Westwood is just outside of him. And then Rank. They're coming to the 16th pole. And Baeza stretches his legs out and is in a powerful performance here. Baeza makes short work of the competition by 5. Mellencamp second, Westwood third. And they're off. Mining District is sent like a quarter horse to the front. Nauvoo is not even close to the early pace. 3 lengths off this leader who flies into the first turn. Kerrygold along the inside now takes second, and in behind them, Mother's Prayer, well spotted, 4 off the pace in fourth. Spiritual Advisor and Pass the Baton are side by side. Clouseau and Bronco Nagurski is at the back of the field. Mining District aggressive to the backstretch, leads at a length and a half. Nauvoo on the chase in second. 2 more to Kerrygold third. Mother's Prayer fourth. Spiritual Advisor 5 off the pace in fifth. Then it's Pass the Baton, Clouseau, and a little bit of a gap to Bronco Nagurski. They're coming to the half-mile pole. Maldonado all over Mining District. Nauvoo right up alongside, putting the heat on him now. Kerrygold, 2 lengths back in third. Down at the rail, Pass the Baton. Spiritual Advisor inches up a closer fifth, just 3 lengths off the lead. Clouseau is next. Mother's Prayer dropping out of it. And Bronco Nagurski starting to pick it up with still a lot of ground to make up. They're coming toward the quarter pole, and Kerrygold is the new leader, overhauling Mining District. Nauvoo backing up. Pass the Baton is the gray down at the rail. In behind them, Clouseau is looking for racing room. Green cap, he's got some run if he can get out of there, and he's getting out now. Here comes Clouseau, one from the outside with a big stretch kick with a furlong left to go. At the rail, Pass the Baton got the jump. Clouseau is coming after him with every stride. Pass the Baton or Clouseau. Clouseau on the outside deserved to win it, and win it he will. Scores by a length and a half. Pass the Baton second. Then came Kerrygold third. Battle for fourth between Spiritual Advisor and Mining District. We're in the gate. And they're off. Miss McKinsey broke out very nicely. Kapalua Ride is up alongside in the early stages as several of them line up. Dad's Bud Money along the inside is in the mix too. Ride Gold, the favorite, is one from the rail, but just in behind the leading group as they run down the back stretch. Where Jolie Candy has now emerged to battle for the lead. Darlin Tammy is right up alongside in second. Outside of them, Miss McKinsey is right there in the thick of it. And Dad's Bad Bunny is back to fourth. They are followed by Ride Gold and Kapalua Ride, 5 lengths off the lead. A Fleet Ride is next. Big Justice is toward the back of the field. The 2 trailers Stubborn going by. My Sister Lily. They have a quarter of a mile to go. The battle continues up top with Miss McKinsey, widest of all, and Darlin Tammy. These two going on with it. Ride Gold in the red swings into action, coming after the top pair in third. Out in the center of the racetrack, A Fleet Ride is next, and wider out Stubborn. The gray is starting to finish with a flourish. Here comes Stubborn with good-looking strides in the center of the course. A Fleet Ride got the jump. A Fleet Ride, Stubborn. My Sister Lily has surfaced. A Fleet Ride takes off late, and a Fleet Ride, in fact, very confidently handled, wins wrapped up under Frankie Dettori over Stubborn. My Sister Lily was next. And then battling out for the super high five were Miss McKinsey, Ride Gold, and Darlin Tammy.
You might have heard the old joke, the first bet you cash every day is when you wake up in the morning. But I'll tell you what, if you follow Santa Anita races, the first bet you won today is when you woke up and you found out that the turf races were still on the turf. That's right. After 4 inches of rain this week at Santa Anita, all turf races remain on the turf today. The turf course will start off listed as good, and of course the main track is fast. My name is Tom Quigley, VIP player concierge, also your seminar host for the next 35 minutes or so. Our seminar guest today, he's also in charge of a lot of VIPs. He's got a Rolodex, and his contact on his cell phone is filled with people from Hollywood and the sports world. His name, Jeff Chapman. Chappie, happy Saturday. Welcome to the seminar.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, and I'm glad to be here.
It's great to have you here. Now, what is your cell phone like, your contact list? I mean, is it filled with, Hollywood celebrities, MLB players, NFL coaches? I mean, the list is endless. We're not going to name names, keep them confidential, but I mean, let's face it, you got a pretty overwhelming list of people that you can hit up at a moment's notice.
I do, and the last time I was home, I was actually showing my family some of the names.
Home being South Bend, Indiana.
In South Bend, Indiana, and they couldn't believe some of it. I mean, I talk about it a few times, but I don't always mention who's in my phone. So I will mention one name just because it's a very recent story.
And he or she's okay with it?
He won't even know. He'd be fine.
Nobody watches the show.
He would be fine.
Nobody watches the show. Don't worry about it.
So I was talking with Doug O'Neill,
okay,
who's a Detroit Tiger fan.
He's somewhat of a celebrity in the racing world.
Correct. And I had been in contact recently with Alex Bregman, and Bregman was between
Major League Baseball player who used to play for the Astros.
Correct. And he was between signing with Doug's Tigers, which we kind of knew, or my Cubs, or the Red Sox. So we were kind of hoping it would be one of our two.
But it wasn't.
And I was so tempted, I would have never done it, to text Bregman and say, please sign with the Cubs, because I had to ask him something recently. But I didn't. And then, of course, he signed with the Red Sox.
But the good news is all these people that you have on your contact on your phone are horse players. They love the game.
Yes.
We had an Emmy Award singer out here on Super Bowl day.
Yep.
Won't mention her name, but she loves the sport of racing.
Yep.
And she wanted to watch the Super Bowl game as well with her friends. I mean, that's the beauty of our sport. Take a look behind us, as a matter of fact. That's a live shot here in Arcadia, California, not a cloud in the sky. It's a beautiful place, 300 acres. The horses look majestic running by in the stretch. It's a lot of fun. It's a social environment. And not only do you have celebrities in your phone, Jeff, but you go after the everyday horse player. You and your group of ambassadors walk around the facility, introduce yourselves, and try and take them behind the scenes.
We do. That's been a big push we've made probably the last meet and into this meet now, is we basically, even on doesn't matter what day it is, we try to walk around.
Take yesterday as an example, Sleepy Friday.
Sleepy Friday, there's always new fans, and usually you can spot them out, right? And occasionally you get turned down, but I tell all the group, and they're great at it. I said, let's just walk around, find new people, grab them, take them in the walking ring, tell them this is only where the owners can be, introduce them to a trainer, introduce them to a jockey, take them down, watch the race right down by the winner's circle, and get them in a picture and get that picture back to them.
You've basically made a fan for life.
Correct. And one thing I don't do enough is thank the owners and trainers, because they've been super generous with us, kind of adding more and more people in the picture.
They're putting up all the money, they're investing all their time, and then you come walking in with some newcomers, you know what I mean? But they're very gracious. 99% of them are very gracious.
Very gracious. We always ask to make sure, but I can't thank them enough. They know what we're doing.
Sure.
And I think there's no better way to get people back. And we give our numbers out. We give our cards out. You'd be amazed how many people call back. I had 2 different people come or call back that are coming tomorrow for the Corgi races.
Sure.
But they were brand new. They would have never came back other than that.
And you had a person from Seattle yesterday visiting Santa Anita for the very first time. You actually stumbled into him and his wife. And his comment to you after you basically gave them the VIP tour was?
He said, you guys should do this more often. It's a great way to have people come back. And I said, we do. And he's back all weekend. So if he's watching this, shout out to you.
But we're also building the fan base one player at a time, right? I mean, the sport needs all the help it can get. But you hit the nail on the head. Once you show people a good time, and let's face it, our sport can be very intimidating. We use things like internal fractions, odds of 5 to 2. This is language that most people in regular society don't understand. But when you kind of break that, that intimidation barrier with them, suddenly it becomes a brand new world for them, and they like it.
No doubt. We always talk about, I always use the adage, like, when you go to Vegas, somebody looks at a craps table and it looks so overwhelming until you jump in, right?
Or someone explains it to you.
Or somebody explains it to you. When you come here, first of all, if you give a brand new newcomer a racing form, it's like you might as well be reading another language.
Sure.
And they get a program. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to bet. They might bet somebody's name because their grandma's name is Grace and they bet a horse name, right?
But we all were in that spot at one point in time of our lives.
No doubt, no doubt. But many of them will come and go, wow, that was beautiful. The mountains, I lost a couple bucks. That was fun, and leave. So we figure if we can show them something that they would never get a chance to do, and see how another thing thinking is the jockeys are unbelievable too, because other athletes you can't get close to.
What about Frankie Dettori in yesterday's last race with Ryan Hansen and his family?
Yeah.
He had all sorts of goggles, passing them out to all the kids.
Yes.
I mean, that's priceless.
Yeah, it's priceless. And all the jockeys, and I mean every one of them, stay after, take pictures with those fans. We grab cameras. They will wait around. They're terrific at it. And that just adds to it. They're like, I can't believe I'm standing next to Frankie Dettori. Or last week, I had a picture, I'm not kidding you, and I had 3 cameras in my hand, and Flavien Prat's in the winner's circle, and he's holding the cameras, handing them back to me as I'm taking.
He had nothing else to do, right?
Right, yeah, no big deal, right? He's got to fly off somewhere right into grade 1 the next day, but they're so good about that, and it just adds to, we got to create every fan we can, and we're trying our best.
It's a team effort, that's for sure, not only from Chapman's group, but also, as you heard, from all the owners and trainers and us as racing fans. It's our obligation to build the racing world one fan at a time. We're going to find out, most importantly, who Jeff likes on today's 10-race card. But before we do any of that, let's toss the microphone over to track announcer Frank Miramati and get the early changes. One huge scratch that you'll hear in just 1 second on today's card. We'll be right back.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the great race place. The track is fast, the turf course rated as good, and the rail on the turf will be at 0 feet for today's action. Here are the early changes. In the first, scratch 4, Running Spartan. The early pick 5 starts with the opener. Race 2, number 5, Lookout Point. Jockey carries 1 pound over. Early pick 4 begins. In the third race, there are no changes. The fourth offers middle pick 4 wagering, just 1 blinker note. In the fifth, scratch 1, Western Freedom, scratch 3, Pio Nono, and scratch number 6, Falcon Wings. 1, 3, and 6 are out. The pick 6, $2 pick 6, starts with the fifth. Race 6, the all-turf pick 3 begins. No scratches or jockey changes. Also start of the 50-cent late pick 5. In the seventh, the big scratch of the day that we discussed on the seminar is number 1, Big City Lights. Jeff Siegel has turned in a revised morning line for the Palos Verdes Stakes with the very important scratch of 1, Big City Lights. 8 starts the late pick 3, scratch 2, Comeback Girl, scratch number 7, Cloudy Women. 2 and 7 are out. Late double begins with the 9th, no scratches or jockey changes in race 9. And in the 10th, super high 5 wagering is offered. Scratch number 3, Owl. Those are the changes on today's card. Enjoy your day here at Santa Anita Park, where we offer the coast-to-coast pick 5 with a low 15% takeout, $1 minimum. The extraordinary payouts well documented in the coast-to-coast pick 5. It starts today at Gulfstream with their 10th. Back to the seminar we go. Tom Quigley and Jeff Chappie Chapman.
Welcome back. We're talking always with Jeff Chapman. He's in charge of both the VIP program as well as the ambassador program right here at the Great Race Place. It's our pleasure to have him on. You've been a busy man. You also have a radio show that was on from 8 to 9 a.m. this morning. Tell us what channel it's on, how people out of state can hear it on the internet, and maybe who some of your guests were today.
Yeah, so it's on AM 830 here locally. We
From
took
8 to 9 a.m. Pacific.
8 to 9 Pacific. We took over for Roger Stein. Had that show for 30 years,
Sure.
something like that. So
Big footsteps to follow.
big footsteps, but we kind of had a built-in audience going in. So on the computer, you can go am830.net. You can get it on the Angels radio app or the Morning Line Sports Show. We do it live on Instagram Live and Facebook Live.
Nice.
So it's all over the place.
You talk about sports and racing.
Yeah. We kind of transitioned. Obviously, during football, we cover a little bit more football. I'd say we're 90-10. 80-20 maybe during football season, because so many people are into football and betting now. So yeah, we mix it up, have a few people from Vegas on as well.
Did some of your guests give out the Eagles last week before the Super Bowl? I know you got a lot of people that you have as guests who follow football religiously.
Well, Mike Piranio, the guru over at Mandalay Bay, was all over Philadelphia. So he said, take him with the points. Take him. He had him a couple different
with
plays.
The adjusted odd spreads.
Correct. And then he said, take him straight up without the points as well. So,
well, we can't make money on that anymore, unfortunately. One way that all of us can make money today is with the $500 NHC qualifying contest. I mentioned this yesterday. Let's put up the graphic if we can. It's a $500 buy-in contest where you can win seats to the NHC. It's a $300 live bankroll. The money that you bet and make is yours to keep. It's also a $200 entry fee. All that gets returned in prize money. The track keeps none of that money. You can play both on track here at Santa Anita. Also, if you're watching from around the country, you can go to expressbet.com and log in. All the tournament races are just the 10 races here at Santa Anita. I think you'll find it a lot of fun. And if you're lucky and good, you'll wind up winning an NHC seat to Las Vegas next month. You've played in a lot of these tournaments, Jeff. It's a lot of fun. Obviously, if you're going to bet a little bit of money today, you might as well play in the tournament because you get the bonus of winning prize money as well. Yeah.
No, it's a great way to spend your money and great way to try to get into the NHC. Our little group goes, we can't play the ones here because we work here.
Of course.
Unfortunately, because before scratches, I would have dove in today for sure. But yeah, we always have a blast when our group goes over and plays in them. So I highly encourage to spend the money and try to qualify into the NHC.
Well, we need some help trying to qualify in that contest if we're going to play. So let's take a look at today's 10-race card, Jeff. Kicking things off in race number 1, which begins the popular 50-cent early pick 5. The turf rails today are at 0 feet. As I mentioned, all races remain on the turf, and race 1 is on the turf. 1 mile is the distance. Maiden claimers, $50,000 is the claiming tag. A field of 7. Favoritism bouncing back and forth between the outside 2 runners, Goodfella and Over the Ocean. Frankie Dettori and Umberto Rispoli in the saddle, respectively, for both runners. Give us your thoughts on race 1, Jeff.
Yeah, I thought the scratch of the 4 running Spartan was interesting just because of a pace-wise. There really isn't a whole lot of speed in this race. Obviously, I believe the 1 Noble Gary is going to send stretching out, and the 7 Over the Ocean should be sitting just off the pace early. And so I kind of went with the 2 outside horses, both the horses that dropped from maiden special weight into the maiden 50. Goodfella, probably the horse to beat, but Goodfella is kind of a little bit of a deeper closer. And I think with not much pace in the race, the 7 Over the Ocean is going to get first run, should sit just off the 1 or right up close to the pace. If we remember last weekend when it rained, the next day with that soft turf course, Speed did very well on the turf.
There goes Harvard, went wire to wire as one example.
Yeah, unfortunately, that was the only one I missed in the coast in the all turf pick 3.
Sorry to bring that up. That's bad memory.
That paid $9,800.
You didn't need that money.
No, not at all. And when they walked by me the first time, I knew it was over already.
Correct.
But yeah, we'll see how it plays. But Speed played very well with the soft turf last weekend. So I think 7-6, not much imagination here in race 1.
Jeff, before we take a look at race 2, just a question for you. You talked about the pace of the race, and of course, most handicappers envision how the race is going to set up from a pace standpoint. Sounds like you do that, but you also watch a lot of replays. You also watch a lot of workouts. How do you kind of blend or mold all 3 together to kind of come up with your final analysis?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I look at pace first of all. I kind of, like you said, I run the race in my head and how that the race is going to shape up.
Hot, right.
Yeah, correct. With the workouts, obviously, I'm looking at more of that. I love maiden races because that's we got to have some kind of an edge at this point. So I try to watch every workout on XBTV. Now we're calling it
First TV.
First TV, excuse me. And I don't go by the workout reports if I can watch it myself, right?
Seeing is believing. You'd rather
Correct.
form your own opinion.
Yeah, and I think times mean nothing. I love the bullet workouts because I think people way overrate those. It's how a horse does it. So that's my big angle is watching works, and we're going to watch a work later. All kinds of factors, because we know what trainers do well first time out or off of a layoff for that kind of thing. So I factor all of that into it. That's why I only play Southern California, because that's the only edge we have. We know every weakness and strength of the people out here. So I think that's where it's hard enough to win, man, and sometimes you think there's no pace in the race and then 3 horses send.
Everybody sees the same thing, including the jockeys.
Correct. Yes. So sometimes you just throw up your hands, but what can you do?
It's a tough game, that's for sure, but it's fun when you win. Let's turn the page, Jeff. Take a look at race number 2, begins the 50-cent early pick 4. We're 1 mile on the main track. It's a restricted starter optional claiming race, a field of 7. Number 6, Nameless. First off the claim for trainer Jeff Mullins is the 4-5 favorite. Once again, looks like the outside 2 are the primary contenders. You agree, or you're going elsewhere?
Yeah, I'm not. I'm sounding like the chalk-eating weasel here in the first couple races. I actually went 6, 7. The 6 is 4-5 in the morning line. Let's face it, the 7, the outside horse, Warren's World, has a chance to be lone speed and take them gate to wire. The reason I went with Nameless is I think Nameless is tactical, has won 3 straight, 3 for 3 on a dirt fast track, and we go from Frankie Alvarado to JJ Hernandez, and Jeff Mullins has been on quite the roll.
Yes, he has.
I think it's 6, 7 all day long. Either or.
Let's take a look at race number 3. Fillies and Mares going 6.5 furlongs in the main track. $20,000 is the claiming tag. Non-winner to 3 races lifetime. Field of 7, number 7, Toulouse de Trot from the George Papadroma barn. 9-5 morning line favorite. Last 2 efforts at San Anita on the main track have been spectacular, winning by open lengths. You expect that to continue?
I think have I gone 6, 7 in every race so far? I think.
Yes, you have. Take a look at that.
Yeah, just bet the 6 and the 7 all day long. That's kind of how
At least in the first 3 races.
I just pulled numbers. No, I actually went with the 6 Ufta. Is that how you pronounce that?
Yes.
I just think this horse has been facing better. Once again, very tactical, so should sit just off the speed. The speed of the speed, obviously, is the outside horse. You just pronounced it Toulouse de Track. Is that correct?
I hope so.
It sounds good to me. Horse has gotten better since adding the blinkers. Obviously, is going to send. George Papadroma is getting hot again. When we know Maldonado is on, usually that's it. And Maldonado, by the way, is not just a send rider by any means, but he's kind of known for that.
He's
right?
typecast, right? But he's talented. He can get a horse home from off the pace.
No question, and that's the horse to catch and probably beat. But I think with the drop in class down with the non-winners of 3 lifetime, Ufta could be tough from just off the pace.
We're finally not going to use 6 or 7 in race number 4 for Jeff Chapman selections. That's because in race 4, we only have 6 runners. And on a 10-race card, race 4 begins a 50-cent middle pick 4. This race is 1 mile on the turf course for 3-year-old starter optional claiming types. As I mentioned, a field of 6, the heavy morning line favorite at 4-5, according to Jeff Siegel's number 2. Earn Not Given, 1-2 back, just missed last time out. What say you about race 4, Jeff?
Obviously, Earn Not Given is the horse to beat. And, at 4-5 in the morning line, this horse probably will be tough coming out of open company. And the reason I went with Dino Dave over Earn Not Given is a deep closer. Dino Dave, first time as a 3-year-old. I went back and watched that last race where Kyle Frey jumped aboard. This horse kind of ducked down to the inside, had a nice turn of foot, and galloped out well. I think this horse has him upside. Adds Lasix being the first time 3-year-old. And I'm also, factoring in the price here, right? Because Earn Not Given is going to be 2-5, 3-5. We can't bet every favorite. So I clearly think that Earn Not Given is the horse to beat. But I think with another step forward as a 3-year-old, Dino Dave has a shot to upset the apple cart. Not going to be a big price, but his third price on the morning line. So, who knows? Maybe we'll get that 3-1.
Race number 5 begins the $2 pick 6 sequence, and we kick things off sprinting 5.5 furlongs in the main track. Calbred maiden claiming 3-year-olds in for a $50,000 tag. 3 scratches. The following runners will not compete: 1, 3, and 6. Take note, number 7, Sir Tom, is a first-time gelding. The revised morning line favorite likely to be down on the rail. Number 2, Distant Fleet, revised off the original 4-1 morning line. Give us your thoughts on race 5, Jeff.
I think I changed it up to another 8-7 here, if I'm not.
Yep, there we go, 8-7.
Okay, so a couple key scratches here. Obviously, the one, you don't always like to draw the rail, but that horse ran at this level the last time, barely got beat. And the 3 was kind of a key scratch. That horse had worked well in the morning for Vladimir Serin. I went with the 8-horse gray area, drawn outside, adds blinkers, has speed.
Drops in class.
The big drop in class always makes a difference here.
Obscure jockey.
Correct. And I thought at that 8-1 more, I actually had that horse in the mix before the scratches. The other horse I went with now after the scratches is Sir Tom. This horse has stopped badly both times, but, comes back this year. First time gelding, blinkers off, first time Lasix, drawn outside, has speed against a suspect group, especially with the couple of the scratches. So 8-7 to me. I don't think there's a ton in here to beat.
We'll continue the outside theme in race number 6, which begins both the 50-cent late pick 5, as well as the $3 alt turf pick 3 with a reduced 15% takeout. Race 6 is for fillies and mares in for a $25,000 claiming tag. Good field of 7. Morning line favorite, number 7, Big Mama Sue. 2 races back, was victorious, took on tougher last time. 9-5, Steve Miotti trains, Kent DeSomo rides. What say you about race 6, Jeff?
Yeah, I think Annie's Joy is going to take some money here on the drop. I believe I went 7-8 once again. So 6, 7s, and 8s are wild here for me today. Big Mama Sue back in amongst friends. DeSormo's been riding well here in
limited opportunities,
but with 3 of 11, I think this horse should sit a good trip early, likes to win races, and 3 for 9 at the distance. So I think this horse has a shot. 9-5. It's the morning line favorite. The other horse I picked was the outside horse, the 8, Chasing Serendipity. JJ jumps back aboard this horse. This horse has actually won 4 times at the distance. I think Annie's Joy is going to take more money and might actually go off as favored. So I tried to, get a little bit of price shopping here and try to stay away from some chalk. The 2 would be my third choice, but 7-8 for me.
Race number 7 is the feature race on today's card. It's the Grade 3 Palos Verde Stakes. $100,000 guaranteed purse for sprinters sprinting 6 furlongs on the main track. Race 7 also begins the 50-cent late pick 4. Huge scratch of the day. Take out the original morning line favorite, number 1. Big City Lights will not compete. Now the revised morning line favorite in a field of 5 is number 3, Roll On Big Joe from the Red Hot Bob Hesbarn. 7-5 now on the revised morning line. Suddenly that scratch actually makes this a better betting race and a more interesting race.
Yeah, it wasn't much of an interesting race before the scratch. Big City Lights was 2-5 in the morning line. What we were gonna get 1-5, maybe even 1-9.
The show plungers were going to show up in full force. That's for sure.
They sure were, and I guess the only drawback might have been the rail draw, but I still think this horse would have won for fun. Here's my thoughts on this race now. I'm against Anarchist, and we will get to that a little bit more.
We will
in the next race, and we will show something. I didn't love the work back, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. Anarchist didn't change.
Anarchist is a play against in both of our worlds.
Correct. Bartholdi, is that how you pronounce that? Bartholdi is kind of rounding into, this horse is getting good.
Sure is. Blinkers on. Tyler Bay seems to be the winning formula. Never been off the board on the main track once Steve Knapp switched surfaces.
Right. But I do think that the 2, 3, and the 4 could hook up early. There's some pace coming from the inside. And that's why I think it could set up for the outside horse for All Mankind. I don't know what the revised morning line is. I originally had it 1-6 before the scratches. We're not going to get 8-1 anywhere near that. But I think drawn outside, sitting off that other speed, this horse has a chance to sit back and run him down because I think they're going to be cooking early. So I went 6-4 because I think the 4 horse is kind of the now horse. And Roll on Big Joe is in good form as well. I mean, ran second to Fort Bragg 2 back in Fort Bragg and ran third or second a few back to Straight No Chaser. So
winner of the Breeders' Cup Sprint.
Correct. So, I wouldn't be surprised if 3, 4, or 6 win this race, but I'm play against on Anarchist.
Race number 8 begins the $3 late pick 3, also with a reduced 15% takeout. And race 8, we're going 6.5 furlongs on the flat turf course. This race is for maiden special weight 3-year-old fillies. There are 2 declarations out of the race. Number 2, Comeback Girl, and number 7, Cloudy Woman, will not compete in the race. Leaves us with a field of 8. The morning line favorite down on the rail, number 1, Entressa from the John Sheriff's Barn, is a first-time starter. This is where we're going to talk about not only Entressa, but also Anarchist. Let's roll the tape of the workout back on February 2nd. We'll see breaking out of the gate. That is going to the lead, Anarchist. But breaking slowly and now rushing up on the outside is Entressa in the white jacket. Entressa's in the white jacket. Look at the turn of foot that she has. She's never run a race in her life, and suddenly she's well clear of Anarchist. She really had that quick turn of foot coming out of the gate. Now you're going to see in a few moments Anarchist kind of loom up and maybe make a workout out of it. But at no point did Entressa look like she was going to lose this workout, Jeff. To me, this was a rather breathtaking type of workout, which you've been describing prior to us watching this workout, that you can see absolutely free of charge at firsttv.com. This type of knowledge, just watching it, is invaluable.
No doubt about it. I mean, you can see a couple things. Obviously, Edwin Maldonado is up on Anarchist.
On the rail in the red jacket.
On the rail. And Anarchist does not switch leads down the lane, but I guess Anarchist is kind of known for not doing that in the races. So maybe that's not a big thing to look at.
And the time's legit. Both are going 1 minute flat for 5 furlongs.
No doubt. And when you get a first-time starter, now we'll look at the good and the bad of Entressa. The good is obvious, right? The horse breaks slow, immediately gets to the outside and outworks a horse who's in a grade 3. This horse is very fast.
For a first-time starter.
For a first-time starter.
Filly versus the boys.
No doubt. This horse is very fast and obviously has talent. They paid a lot of money for this horse. That's the positive.
That's the good news. But
Correct.
We do have bad news.
We do have bad news. And it wouldn't surprise me if this horse pops the gate or even breaks a tad slow and still wins because of the talent.
But she's going to be a short price.
Correct. And she drew the rail. And John Sheriff's does not win first time out.
Let me give you some statistics to back up what you just said. The turf rail so far in sprint races this meet, we've run 45 turf sprints. The turf rail, runners breaking from the rail in turf sprints, 3 wins, 3 for 45, that's 7%. So it's a post position bias, in my opinion. Breaking from the rail in turf sprints at San Ynez so far this meet has not been the place you want to be. That's the one negative so far.
And watching that horse break slowly the last time.
Correct.
So that even gives you more cause for pause that the horse might not break well, especially from the rail first time out.
Now, you mentioned John Sheriff's. We all know that he doesn't do very well with first-time starters. There's always exceptions. Zenyatta won her debut. It's
Correct.
not like John Sheriff's can't train a debut winner. But here's some statistics. Over the last 5 years, courtesy our DRF formulator, he has saddled 75 first-time starters. You know how many have hit the winner's circle? 4. 4 for 75, and particularly in this category, Jeff, where it's turf sprinters debuting, he's 0 for 13. He's never won a turf sprint in the last 5 years. So does she have ability and talent? No doubt about it. Does she have some negatives to go along with that talent? Absolutely. So the question becomes, what price do you take, and do you either play her or do you play against her?
Right. I mean, look, first of all, I'm very upset at this race because I was so happy to find out early this morning that we were on the turf because I had a big long shot I wanted to play. And that would be the 2 Comeback Girl, who is now scratched.
But put that in your, horses to watch list.
Yeah.
Whenever she debuts.
Yes, because I think she's very talented. And if we would have shown one of the work, she absolutely popped the gate and skips over the track. So I'm hoping everything's fine. She's going to come back next week. I was going to single her today, but that doesn't matter. My second pick would have been Cloudy Woman, and we were going to show the replay of that.
She scratched
because she had a lot of trouble dipped down to the inside last time and got stuck on the rail.
People watching think this job is easy. You got to be nimble, right? You got to pivot at a moment's notice.
Correct.
For live TV.
Yeah.
So your top 2 picks scratched. So now, with all that being said, and we don't like Entressa today, who do you like and why?
All right. So now we're going to go to the 8 Jungle Piece. This horse has worked very well on February 2nd, worked with a horse named Tigerish, who's a good horse, and worked very well with that horse. And then on January 22nd, worked with a horse named Dandy Vandy, who's running, I believe, tomorrow.
Yes.
And had a big late run. I think this horse has talent. Let's put it that way. We know that obviously D'Amato excels with these shippers,
European imports,
right? I always say, I'm like, whoever the guy is that is buying those horses for D'Amato, and it's not just D'Amato does a heck of a job with them, right? But they do such a great job of bringing these horses in off of 1 or 2 races and win.
They have scouts overseas, and owner Michael Netwig also does a very good job identifying them as well, because their success speaks for itself.
Yeah, Michael, give me a call, because I got some people who want to buy some horses. But I think this horse will make a good showing now, especially with Comeback Girl, who is going to go gate to wire. The other horse I used in here was the 9 Favor to You, Antonio Fresu, another D'Amato. The February 4th work on XBTV was
First TV.
Excuse me, First TV. I got to get used to that.
That's okay.
Next time I'm on, I'm going to say First TV.
I'm the goalie.
This horse worked with a first-timer named Pristine and another horse named Thermoscape, who ran once, but ran on well very nicely. And at 15-1, because I almost put Antressa second, but at 15-1, the price and the reasons we just all mentioned, I end up going 8-9. And Tressa would be my third choice. But because of all the reasons we said, at a low price, I'm baking in the value into my top 2 picks here.
Couple additional comments on race number 8. Jeff's second selection, number 9, Favor to You. Interestingly enough, you can see the breeder is the University of Kentucky. They've bred a few horses that have run here in Southern California, so good luck to them and part owner Little Red Feather Racing. Also, one additional statistic on number 1, Antressa, who we've been kind of knocking a little bit despite her impressive workout. The dam has had 2 foals that have run at the racetrack so far, in addition to Antressa. They're 1 for 23 lifetime. 2 foals, 1 for 23 lifetime. Going to be very interesting to see what Antressa does today with all the different positives and negatives she has going for and against her.
You know, this horse is going to jog
win by 20 and win the Breeders' Cup.
Yeah, exactly.
Race number 9 begins the $5 late daily double with a reduced 15% takeout. We're spreading 6.5 furlongs in the main track Calbred allowance optional claiming types. Non-winners of 1 other than. We've got a field of 8. Morning line favorite number 4, Lonesome Stew, 3-5. Likely, in my opinion, to go even lower. Before we get your thoughts on the race, Jeff, one more workout to watch, courtesy of First TV. That would be a team workout with 2 runners in this field. Number 2, Final Storm, and number 8, Tom Seaver are the ones we're looking at. Final Storm is the one that's trailing, the outside horse who's behind Tom Seaver. One of the things I want you to watch as we're watching this workout is watch the exercise rider on Tom Seaver. He's confused where his workmate Final Storm is, because he keeps looking over his shoulder, underneath his legs. He's like, where is Final Storm? What's going on? And ultimately, Final Storm does catch up, as you can tell by the final times. But Final Storm, if you look through his past performances, and he's returning off an August 2024 layoff, he does have some gait problems. So the fact that he missed the break in this particular workout shouldn't be surprising. But Tom Seaver, I thought, coming also off a long layoff, looked very good. Tom Seaver has 2 wins, both on the turf course. But I think a lot of players are going to see that and maybe disregard him today. I thought this was a good workout, Jeff, for both horses, despite Final Storm missing the break.
Yeah. Okay. So I agree with you. And I watched that work, and I put a couple notes, and you just mentioned most of them. So I did put the 4 Lonesome Stew on top. Obviously, this is the horse to be in great form. Mark Glatt having an absolute terrific meet. And, I think that this horse at low, 3-5 morning line is the horse to beat. Tom Seaver, I like that work. And if we can use the baseball analogy, he threw the fastball coming out of the gate right there and popped the gate. And I think with that outside draw, it's going to be forwardly placed and has a big shot at 6-1. On the notes on Final Storm, just being 12-1 on the morning line, I put can run, can't break. Because like you said, if it was once or twice, it'd be one thing. But you can literally go through, I think, of the 7 lifetime starts, this horse has broken poorly 6 or 7 of those 7 lifetime starts. If the horse actually breaks once, pops the gate,
who knows what might happen?
Who knows, right? But and that would be my third choice in here. I considered afternoon nap. I think afternoon nap is probably better on the grass than the dirt. So I'm 4-8. And if the 2 breaks at a big price, as we just saw on that work, the horse has some run.
We close out an excellent day of racing in race number 10, offering $1 super high 5 wagering. Sprinting 6 furlongs in the turf course for maiden special weight Calbred. 3-year-olds, 1 scratch the 3 owl, still leaves us with an excellent field of 11. Number 2 Hothead, putting the blinkers on for trainer Mark Latt, is the 5-2 Maury Line favorite. If you're bringing some VIPs down to the winner's circle today, you might see Mark Latt more than a few times. You think he's going to win the nightcap, or are you looking elsewhere, Chappie?
I think he could get beat. I think it's a 2-horse race here. I mean, Hothead ran a huge race off the short bench last time and first time on the turf, and catch me if you can. I thought the replay on the 4 Horizon Wildcat was very interesting. This horse broke down in the 3 hole, was kind of stuck behind horses, didn't have trouble, but I think this horse has more speed than shown. Kind of had to wait. The jockey waited. This horse made a big move and was his own worst enemy, kind of lugged in, and it cost the horse the win. I think the horse would have won the race had he not lugged in. The jock kept trying to correct the horse, Giovanni Franco to correct the horse, and still lost on a very nasty bob. I think drawn outside of the 2 is a good thing for this horse. I think it's 2-4-4-2 in here. I didn't like much else in here, and I give the slight nod to the 4 Horizon Wildcat, and they'll have to catch Hothead to beat him.
Tight on time, but before we go, one more wager to consider, the Coast to Coast Pick 5. Did you see the payout yesterday? You know how chalky yesterday was at Santa Anita. The Coast to Coast Pick 5 for $1 wager yesterday paid in excess of $12,000. It's paid extremely well every time it's offered, and of course, it's offered today. As you can see on the screen, low 15% takeout. 3 races from Santa Anita, but we kick things off with Gulfstream Park Race 10 at 1:52 p.m. Pacific time. Make sure you get involved in that wager. Jeff, thanks so much for your time and energy and insight today. Always love having you on the show. Keep up the great work, not only with the famous people, but also with the $2 players as well. We need every single one of them that we can get.
Absolutely. And anybody new out there, if you see me walking around, grab me. I'll give you a tour. Or I'll give one of my people to take you around today or tomorrow.
Call the Santa Anita switchboard and ask for Jeff Chapman. He'll hook you up, that's for sure. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great afternoon and good luck.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the great race place. The track is fast, the turf rated as good. Conditions brought to you by John Deere. In the first race, scratch number 4, Running Spartan, the rail on the turf at 0 feet, turf rated good. In race 2, number 5, Lookout Point, 1 pound over. No changes in the third. In the fourth, we have middle pick 4 wagering. No scratches or jockey change.